Right, so I've done my run session, nice easy 20-minute jogs to cool down. I'm just going to show you a few stretches that I usually go through just to kind of ease all the aches and pains I've had over the session. So first of all, nice easy quad stretch. Keep your heads looking forward, like obviously I'm looking at the camera, but try and keep your head straight as you can. You don't have to kind of really pull the stretch. Keep the hips kind of straight forward, knees together, nothing like back or in front, just nice and gentle, don't overdo it. Same on the other side. Hold for, I'd say around 20 seconds. If you're doing this before a session, I'd probably reduce the length of your stretch and keep it more dynamic. But now this is post-session, you just want a nice relaxed hold for around 20 seconds. I always like to stretch the muscles agonistically and antagonistically, so just kind of basically the muscle pairs like quads, hamstrings, try and kind of stretch together. So I mean, this is more of a glute stretch here, but it gets into the deep hamstring muscle for me. So yeah, I've kind of done quad, hamstrings, upper thigh, lower thigh. Try and go through the session or these stretches like maybe twice or even 3 times through if you've got time, as long as you're not getting cold. Like obviously I'm outside here, but if you're doing it inside, it's probably better just to keep your muscles warm. This is a hip flexor stretch. This is probably my favourite one, to be honest, and I'll do this before a session as well because it really helps to open out the hips, and you kind of don't want your hip angle to kind of tighten up, especially if you're trying to go fairly fast in the session. Obviously both sides, and also you can add in a bit of a lean to extend the kind of stretch through your hip flexor. Yeah, that would kind of go with the a few glute stretches as well. Obviously these are easier done sat down, but I'll be out of camera shot if I do that. So yeah, essentially kind of a range of muscles. I'll do another video to show some like sitting down stretches as well. But yeah, basically just kind of go through the muscles that you've used. Nice easy calf stretch. You can do all different kind of angles of your foot, like kind of that way, and then bent leg as well. Obviously you have to kind of bring your foot a bit closer. This gets the soleus and the Achilles a bit more. So just nice and gentle, don't overdo it. This is a recovery stretching session, it's not an activation one. And yeah, just go through that maybe 2 or 3 times, and yeah, just relax and enjoy that you've done your session. Right everyone, I'm just gonna go through a few sitting down stretches post run session, or post any run really. I prefer to do it on the ground just because I'm usually quite tired. So yeah, here we are. Just starting off with a simple hamstring stretch. Foot out in front, leg as straight as you can. I like to keep the other one here, just like foot against the adductor, and just like try and touch your toe. Hold for, I don't know, 20 seconds or something, just until you feel like your muscle relaxing, and yeah, don't try and force it, don't stretch until you feel the pain, just a nice kind of length of your leg. And then yeah, swap over after about 20 seconds or so, and do the same. I'd probably go through that maybe 2 or 3 times each side, either obviously continue through the whole stretching routine or just kind of focus on one muscle group at a time. But as I've recommended in the past, I'd like to tend to kind of stretch muscles in pairs, so hamstrings and quads together, and then I'll probably move on to other kind of muscle groups. So yeah, just nice and gentle. And now onto the quad. There's loads of different ways to do this. You can lie on the ground, you can stand up. This is quite a good way, and it gets the hip flexor as well, just lying on your side, front leg at 90 degrees, and try and get it 90 degrees with your kind of the leg that you're stretching, and then kind of pull the heel up at the back. You probably can't see from here, but I'm essentially just doing as I would stood up, just pulling the foot into my bum, and then yeah, swap over each side. I think this is probably the best stretch to do post run, just because it gets not just your quad, it gets your hip flexor as well, and you can just lie and let it stretch out. You don't even need to pull it really, you just use the ground to kind of grip your foot and just like rotate your hip forward just to kind of get that stretch there. Another one that I did when I did the standing up routine is just kind of pulling the leg up to here, and you can just lie down, almost let gravity kind of pull the leg into a stretch. It's just nice and relaxing really. 20 seconds each side, go for it 3 times if you want. This also, I find it gets the adductor a bit as well, which is kind of an underrated or an under kind of considered muscle when it comes to stretching. And I guess another adductor muscle is just another adductor stretch to get that muscle is just this one. Again, it's something where you just almost let gravity do its job and just relax the muscles. I'm no like yoga instructor, but just focus on kind of deep breathing, and yeah, you should find a nice stretch. My physio is just turned up. We're going to do a bit of gym in a second, so we may get greeted by him. And yeah, just going back through the kind of the hamstring stretch again. So all these stretches just flow into one another. So yeah, hopefully you find it useful. I guess you could do a back stretch as well, which I tend not to do too much of because I don't tend to get stiff, but this is another nice one just to kind of really go through the spine, and it gets a bit of your quad as well. Yeah, and I guess the last one again would be go back into that hip flexor stretch that I really rate as well, just right up through from the quad all the way up through into the abdominals really, and then put your hand over your head like that if you feel like you want to get a bit more out of it, and then swap sides. And then that's my stretching video sorted for you. Hope you enjoy.